Know the top stories of the day. Understand the issues that matter. This is Manila Bulletin News on Web. Your quick rundown of top news in the country and around the world. Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Be fully informed. Hi, I'm Barbie Atienza. This is MB Now, and here are your news on web. The new variant of COVID-19 virus has not reached the country yet. That is the assurance from the Department of Health. This after 305 positive samples submitted to the Philippine Genome Center that conducted genome sequencing showed that no new variant was detected. Our correspondent Danilo Lim has this report.
The Philippines still remains free from the new variant of COVID-19 virus, the Department of Health announced on Wednesday. The DOH said that the new variant of COVID-19 virus was not detected in any of the 305 positive samples submitted to the Philippine Genome Center that conducted genome sequencing. These samples analyzed by PGC were composed of positive samples from November to December, hospital admissions, and from inbound travelers who tested positive upon arrival at the airport.
We are pleased to announce sa ngayon, currently, the UK variant has not been detected in any of these samples that were sequenced by the Philippine Genome Center. But we are still reminding everybody that we still need to strictly comply to the minimum public health standards. Marahil po nakakapagod na, no, na naririnig araw-araw ito, ngunit ito po ay napakahalaga, lalong-lalo na ngayon na may threat po tayo ng variant dito sa ating bansa.
The DOH also assures that it is in close coordination with Hong Kong officials after a passenger from the Philippines was detected to have the new variant of COVID-19 virus.
Actually, we learned of this last night around 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. And we immediately started coordinating, trying to contact the IHR focal point person of Hong Kong through our IHR system also. Unfortunately, we have not been receiving the response. So what we did this morning was to call the WHO country office, and they committed to help us. But of course, we were really in a hurry, or we wanted immediate answers. So we called on the Western Pacific Regional Office, and through this, they were able to give us a contact number, a direct line that we can call the Ministry of Health of the Hong Kong government. So we are now trying to call directly so that we can get further details.
Meanwhile, the Health Department reminded the public to continue practicing the minimum public health standards. For MP Now, this is Danilo Lim reporting.
Persons who receive the coronavirus vaccines will not be exempted from strict testing and quarantine protocols upon arrival in the Philippines. The latest decision was reached by the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, or IATF, during a meeting Tuesday as vaccine distribution has started in some countries. Local regulators have yet to give any emergency use approval to experimental coronavirus vaccines in the country, although some public officials and military personnel have reportedly been inoculated. So far, American drug maker Pfizer is the only vaccine company that has a pending emergency use authorization application before the Food and Drug Administration. A decision on the application may be released next week. According to FDA Director General Eric Domingo, United Kingdom-based AstraZeneca is expected to apply for EUA in the next few days. The World Health Organization recently issued its first emergency use approval for the COVID-19 vaccine developed by Pfizer-BioNTech, which is reportedly 95% effective after 2 doses. The latest WHO action sought to help countries without regulatory processes to gain access to the vaccine. Education Secretary Leonor Briones has ordered an investigation on the reported selling of sensual photos and videos of students online to raise funds for expenses related to distance learning, which is currently being implemented in private and public schools and universities nationwide. Briones said the DepEd is already conducting a separate investigation and currently consolidating reports from field offices related to the reported selling of sensitive photos and videos of students online. Citing initial reports, Briones said students allegedly resort to selling their private videos and photos to have sufficient funding for online learning. However, the DepEd maintained that gadgets or internet connections are not requirements for distance learning, as there are other alternative distance learning modalities. In September 2020, UNICEF Philippines urged the Philippine government to protect the future of Filipino children by combating online sexual abuse amid the pandemic. UNICEF Philippines said that as children stay at home due to quarantine restrictions, they are at increased risk of online sex trafficking and exploitation. Citing data from the Philippine National Police, UNICEF said that the Philippines is considered the #1 source of child pornography and a source of income for many who are living in the margins of society. Metropolitan Manila Development Authority Chairman Danilo Lim passed away on Wednesday. He was 65. Lim's passing was confirmed in a Viber message by MMDA spokesperson Celine Pialago, who added that other details will soon be announced by his family. Before his death, Lim announced on December 29 in a Facebook post that he tested positive for coronavirus disease despite all the health precautions he observed. Malacanang has expressed sympathies over the death of Lim, saying he rendered public service with professionalism, competence, and integrity. President Duterte appointed Lim as MMDA chairman in May 2017. Lim, a member of Philippine Military Academy class of 1978, was among the former military officers appointed by the president to various posts in the government. In Metro News, Mayor Zamora assures to provide San Juan residents with effective COVID-19 vaccine. Valenzuela LGU releases 24,000 computer tablets to students without gadgets for online learning. And Muntinlupa launches Learning Bus, a first in the NCR. More from this report.
San Juan City Mayor Francis Zamora assured residents Tuesday that the city will only procure effective coronavirus vaccines from reputable pharmaceutical companies. The local government has earlier allocated 50 million pesos as standby funds for the purchase of the COVID-19 vaccines once they are available and approved to be used in the country. Residents may sign up online through the COVID-19 vaccination online registration form, or they can also go to their barangay halls or health centers to register. Around 24,000 public elementary and high school students in Valenzuela City who do not have any gadgets to use for the blended distance learning received tablets from the city government on Tuesday. Data from the Department of Education showed that 24,000 of the 130,000 public school students in the city do not have yet gadgets and are unable to buy gadgets for their online class. Valenzuela Mayor Rex Gatchalian allocated 69 million pesos for the procurement of the tablets. Gatchalian told students that the tablet should only be used for educational purposes such as streaming video lessons in the city's Valenzuela Live online streaming school. The Muntinlupa City Government launched the Mobile Learning Hub, the first innovative roving learning bus in the National Capital Region to teach people about disaster resilience. Mayor Jaime Fresnedi and Representative Rupi Biason led the inauguration of the learning bus of the city's Department of Disaster Resilience and Management. The bus is equipped with a state-of-the-art virtual reality area wherein residents can wear VR headsets to experience being in a close actual scenario of disaster, including earthquakes, flooding, volcanic eruptions, tsunami, and landslide. The Mobile Learning Hub has also an interactive lecture area with informative videos on COVID-19 protective measures, disaster preventions, mitigations and preparedness, first aid response and management, and basic life support.
Here are the top news in other parts of the country. 500,000 pesos shabu seized from drug suspect in La Union. Cultural workers, scholars call for peace in Panay's indigenous communities. And Army turns over remains of slain NPA rebel to his family in Agusan. Details in this report.
Drug charges are set to be filed against a suspected drug dealer who was arrested during a checkpoint in Barangay Udiao, La Union on Wednesday, January 6. Seized from suspect Chok Sawadan Araos were sachets of shabu weighing about 80 grams with an estimated value of 544,000 pesos and other drug paraphernalia. Araos, a known drug dealer and was on PDEA's watch list, is now facing charges for violation of the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Cultural workers and scholars are calling for peace among communities of indigenous peoples in Central Panay Island after the deadly raids conducted in alleged communist hotspots in Iloilo and Capiz provinces. This was after community leaders of the Panay Bukidnon indigenous peoples were reported as among the 9 killed when the Philippine National Police served warrants of arrests for illegal possession of firearms and explosives. Government authorities claimed they were members of the New People's Army. In a statement, the Panay Indigenous Cultural Advocacy Group or PICAG made an urgent and serious request to value life, peace, and trust for the indigenous peoples to cultivate and safeguard the cultures and traditions which the group has labored so hard to uplift as culturally concerned and peace-loving individuals. The 23rd Infantry Battalion has formally turned over the remains of a slain New People's Army rebel to his family on Monday, January 4, the military reported on Wednesday. The slain New People's Army rebel was identified as Ka Alas or Alon, who was killed in an encounter with troops on December 30 in Barangay Tungao, Butuan City. According to Ka Alas's mother Liza, her son was already missing for 1 year and that they had no idea that he would join the NPA. But despite his death, Ka Alas's family expressed their gratitude to the government for the assistance they have given to them.
In world news, Trump orders ban on Wechat Pay and other Chinese apps. Trudeau frustrated by slow vaccines rollout. And rare white tiger born at Nicaragua Zoo. Let's watch this report.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Tuesday ordered a ban on Alipay, WeChat Pay, and other apps linked to Chinese companies, saying they could route user information to the government in Beijing. The executive order is to take effect in 45 days, just a week after Trump is replaced in White House by President-elect Joe Biden. A senior administration official said the order and its implementation has not been discussed with the potential incoming Biden administration. The move by Trump comes after previous executive orders aimed at banning TikTok, which is owned by China-based ByteDance, were derailed by court ruling indicating Trump overstepped his legal authority. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said Tuesday in his first address of the new year that he was frustrated by the slow pace of COVID-19 inoculations across Canada, 3 weeks into a vaccination campaign. The Canadian government has so far distributed 424,500 doses of Pfizer, BioNTech, and Moderna vaccines, the only ones authorized to date in Canada, to its provinces and territories responsible for vaccination program, according to official figures. But only about 148,000 doses of vaccine have been administered so far, according to local media. Trudeau is scheduled to speak Thursday with provincial and territorial leaders to discuss how the federal government can support and help in getting these vaccines more quickly to Canadians. A rare white target named Nieve, which means snow in Spanish, was born at the Nicaragua Zoo and being raised by humans after its mother rejected it, the director of the zoo told AFP. Nieve came into the world a week ago, weighing just under a kilogram at birth, according to the zoo director. Conservative group WWF describes white tigers as a genetic anomaly, which one known to exist in the wild. There are several dozen in captivity.
In entertainment, the Grammy Music Awards slated for January 31 in Los Angeles has been postponed until March over COVID-19, which has been rapidly spreading in California. The Recording Academy released a statement saying it had rescheduled the show to March 14, a week earlier than the date briefly listed on its website. The ceremony's delay comes less than a month before it was set to take place in the shadow of the pandemic, which has dealt devastating blows in the music industry. Other award shows like the Emmys and the Latin Grammys have been forced to go partially or fully virtual in light of pandemic restrictions on large gatherings. In sports, those eligible now began the process of selecting who among the strong contenders are worthy of winning the PBA Philippine Cup Best Player of the Conference. Voting period for the Bubble MVP and other awards began Tuesday and will last until January 11, giving players, media, and the Commissioner's Office enough time to decide on their choices. The most difficult selection is the Best Player honors with TNT's Ray Parks Jr. and RR Pogoy, Barangay Nebra San Miguel's Stanley Pringle, and Phoenix Super LPG's Calvin Abueva and Matthew Wright identified as the strongest candidates to be named in the virtual PBA Awards night slated January 17. Parks topped the statistical points category, while Pringle helped Ginebra become the new ruler of the league's most important prize. The PBA decided to hand out the best player of the conference instead of the traditional most valuable player after the 45th edition of the Pro League was cut short to a single conference due to the COVID-19 pandemic. In today's Tech Talk, Manila Bulletin's Tech Lab got a hold of a device that can help you communicate with someone even with a language barrier. Our Tech News editor, Art Samaniego, shares to us what this device is.
When communicating with people who speak another language, it sometimes gets stressful and frustrating, especially when the language barrier gets in the way. But thanks to technology, there is an easy solution for it. Hi, I am Art Samaniego and this is Tech Talk. The Zero Portable Mini Translator by Time Kettle is a portable device that connects to your phone via Type-C port or Lightning port. It comes with its own storage pack that is just as big as your credit card. With its app installed in your phone, it serves as your personal translator that you can carry around while traveling or even while in an online meeting with your foreign counterparts.
Hello, my name is Jaime.
Hola, mi nombre es Jaime.
Where can we have coffee?
¿Dónde podemos tomar un café?
Where is the best place to view the Eiffel Tower?
Quel est le meilleur endroit pour voir la Tour Eiffel?
The device has 4 powerful microphones to make sure that your voice will be heard and translated. Apart from that, you can also use it to record your meetings so that you can review and translate it later on. It also comes handy for interviews as it also records and translates your whole interview for you. With gadgets like the Zero Portable Mini Translator by Time Kettle, it only goes to show how technology bridges gaps and helps make more connection around the world easier. And that is Tech Talk for this week. Join us again next week for more tech updates. This is Art Samaniego and this is Tech Talk. Be fully informed.
And those are the news on Web Today, January 6, 2021. For more news and details, get your copy of Manila Bulletin newspaper tomorrow or log on to www.mb.com.ph. Or you may also subscribe to our newsletter through the link on this video's caption to have the day's latest news delivered to your inbox. I am Barbie Atienza for Manila Bulletin, celebrating 120 years of timely stories and timeless truths. Join us again tomorrow. This has been MB Now. Be fully informed.